Most double albums in the past have been generally bad because people can't seem to write enough good material for a double album.
Because I'm really pleased with it as something that was done like 7 years ago. It's a really good album, but as long as people...
Robert Smith, the enigmatic frontman of The Cure, has spent decades shaping the sound of alternative and gothic rock, creating music that resonates across generations. His distinctive voice, haunting lyrics, and unparalleled guitar work have influenced countless artists and defined an era of music. Yet behind the iconic image and the timeless hits, there has always been a personal side to Smith, a side defined by his tastes, inspirations, and the records that shaped the musician he became. For years, fans, critics, and fellow musicians have speculated about the albums that truly influenced Robert Smith. Interviews have teased fragments of his favorites, but he has rarely revealed a definitive list. Now at 66, he has finally lifted the veil, sharing the 10 rock albums that hold the most significance in his life. The albums that inspired his sound, challenged his creativity, and left an indelible mark on the man behind the music. This revelation is more than a casual list. It is a window into the creative mind of a musical icon. Each album tells a story, reflects a moment in time, or captures an emotion that shaped his artistry. From obscure gems to genre-defining classics, Smith's choices reveal the influences that fueled The Cure's haunting melodies, intricate arrangements, and unforgettable lyrics. Fans can now trace the threads of inspiration, seeing how the music he admired shaped the music we love. For those who have followed his career, this list is a rare glimpse into the private musical world of Robert Smith. The records that guided him, challenged him, and ultimately defined him as one of the most influential figures in rock history. For the first time, the inspiration behind the legend is laid bare, and it is as revealing as it is captivating. Robert Smith's journey as a musician has been marked by innovation, emotion, and an unwavering dedication to his craft. As the frontman of The Cure, he has crafted some of the most iconic songs in alternative rock, blending melancholy, introspection, and unforgettable melodies into a sound that is instantly recognizable. Yet behind his own creations lies a network of influences, the albums, artists, and musical moments that shaped him as a performer, songwriter, and visionary. At 66, Smith finally opened up about the 10 rock albums that influenced him most, offering fans an unprecedented glimpse into the foundation of his artistry. For decades, Smith's inspirations have been a topic of curiosity and speculation. Critics and fans alike have tried to trace the lineage of The Cure's sound, identifying echoes of post-punk, glam rock, and experimental music in their songs. What's striking about his personal favorites is the range of styles and eras represented. Some albums are celebrated classics that helped define entire genres, while others are hidden gems whose genius lies in subtle experimentation, obscure lyrics, or unconventional production. Together they form a mosaic that reveals both Smith's eclectic taste and the depth of his musical knowledge. One of the most fascinating aspects of Smith's revelation is the way he describes each album. His commentary is not simply about admiration. It is a reflection on how each record affected him emotionally and creatively. Some albums challenged him to rethink his approach to songwriting, pushing him toward new textures, chord structures, and lyrical themes. Others inspired him personally, providing solace or excitement during formative moments in his life. By sharing these details, Smith allows fans to understand not just what he listened to, but why these albums mattered, why they helped shape the artist behind The Cure. In addition, this revelation underscores the interconnectedness of musical influence. Smith's favorites include albums that inspired generations, highlighting the way creativity builds on itself over time. It's a reminder that even icons like Robert Smith are shaped by the work of others, and that their genius is, in part, a reflection of the music that moved them. For aspiring musicians, this list is a roadmap, a guide to the albums that have stood the test of time, influenced a master, and helped define the sound of modern rock. Finally, the significance of this list extends beyond musical influence. It is a personal revelation, offering insight into the tastes, passions, and priorities of a man who has often kept his inner life guarded. At 66, Robert Smith's willingness to share these 10 albums is not only a treat for fans, but a testament to the enduring power of music to shape identity, inspire creativity, and connect generations across time. Among the 10 albums Robert Smith named, the range of styles and influences is striking. Some hail from the raw energy of punk rock, others from the lush experimental textures of post-punk and new wave. Each record represents a unique moment in Smith's musical education, a lesson in melody, emotion, or innovation. For fans of The Cure, this selection offers insight into the roots of the band's signature sound, the moody atmospheres, intricate guitar lines, and haunting lyrics that have become synonymous with Smith's artistry. Smith explains that these albums were more than just listening experiences. They were formative encounters. Certain records arrived at moments of personal significance, providing guidance, comfort, or challenge. Some inspired him to experiment with vocal delivery, phrasing, or songwriting structure, while others demonstrated the power of production, arrangement, or thematic cohesion. By immersing himself in these albums, he absorbed lessons that would later manifest in his own compositions, shaping both the sound and emotional depth of The Cure's catalog. Colleagues and fellow musicians note that Smith's choices reveal both his admiration for technical mastery and his appreciation for emotional authenticity. Albums that pushed boundaries creatively left a lasting impression, teaching him that innovation often comes at the intersection of risk and experimentation. Others, perhaps deceptively simple, demonstrated the timelessness of melody and the importance of connecting with listeners on a personal level. In this way, the 10 albums serve as a masterclass in music itself, demonstrating principles that Smith internalized and made part of his artistic DNA. The list also highlights the eclecticism that defines Smith as an artist. He does not confine himself to a single genre or era. Instead, he celebrates the diversity of rock music and its ability to evoke emotion and inspire creativity. This eclectic approach is evident in The Cure's body of work, which moves seamlessly from dark, gothic atmospheres to lighter, melodic pop, always retaining an emotional core. By sharing these favorite albums, Smith allows fans to trace the threads of influence, connecting the dots between the music that inspired him and the music he ultimately created. Finally, Smith's reflections underscore the ongoing relationship between listening and creating. He describes revisiting these albums at different points in his life, noting how their significance evolved over time. What once inspired experimentation in his youth later offered lessons in restraint, subtlety, or nuance. This continuous engagement with the music of others demonstrates the lifelong process of learning, adapting, and drawing inspiration, a process that has sustained Robert Smith's remarkable career and ensured that The Cure remains a seminal force in rock music decades after its formation. Delving deeper into Robert Smith's list of favorite rock albums reveals surprising choices that reflect both his musical curiosity and his personal tastes. While some albums are widely celebrated classics, others are obscure works that only the most devoted music enthusiasts might know. This mix demonstrates Smith's ability to recognize brilliance beyond mainstream recognition and highlights his instinct for finding inspiration in unexpected places. It also reflects the mindset of an artist who constantly seeks to challenge himself, even after decades at the top of his field. Smith explains that some of these records shaped his approach to composition and soundscaping. For example, certain albums introduced him to unconventional guitar effects, layering techniques, and atmospheric textures that would later become hallmarks of The Cure's music. Others taught him the subtle art of lyricism, how to craft words that are emotionally evocative without being overly literal, creating a sense of universality while remaining deeply personal. By studying these albums, Smith internalized lessons that were less about copying and more about understanding the mechanics of great songwriting. Beyond technical influence, many of these albums resonated with Smith on a profoundly emotional level. He describes how particular songs or arrangements spoke to him in moments of vulnerability, excitement, or reflection. These emotional connections became as important as the musical techniques themselves, shaping not only his songwriting, but also his perspective on performance and audience connection. Smith's recognition of the interplay between technical mastery and emotional resonance demonstrates the holistic approach he brings to music, one that values both precision and feeling. Colleagues note that Smith often references these albums in discussions about creativity, illustrating how they guided his thinking about structure, dynamics, and mood. They were not simply records to admire. They were tools to learn from, sources of inspiration that provided frameworks for experimentation and innovation. For fans, this insight is invaluable. It offers a blueprint for understanding how a master musician absorbs, adapts, and transforms the music of others into a distinctive voice of his own. Finally, Smith's reflections remind us that even established artists remain students of music throughout their careers. At 66, he acknowledges that revisiting these albums continues to inform his work, reinforcing lessons about melody, rhythm, and emotional storytelling. The list is not a static snapshot of his influences, but a living document, one that shows how music can shape, inspire, and sustain an artist over a lifetime. For Robert Smith, these 10 albums are more than favorites. They are milestones in a lifelong journey of creative exploration and artistic growth. The final portion of Robert Smith's revelation emphasizes the enduring impact these 10 albums have had on his life and career.
He explains that each record is not merely a source of inspiration, but a milestone in his musical journey, a moment that shaped his sensibilities,
his approach to creativity, and his understanding of what music can achieve. For Smith, revisiting these albums at different stages of life has been like conversing with old mentors, each offering guidance, challenge, or affirmation in unique ways. Smith also reflects on the emotional resonance of these works. Some albums connected with him during moments of doubt, heartbreak, or introspection, providing solace and clarity. Others sparked bursts of excitement and creativity, motivating him to experiment with new sounds and explore different lyrical themes. These emotional connections highlight the profound power of music to influence not only technical skills, but also the emotional and psychological makeup of an artist. For Robert Smith, the albums were teachers, companions, and catalysts, shaping both the man and the musician. What makes this revelation particularly compelling is its honesty. Smith does not simply list the albums to impress fans or stake a claim in rock history. He shares the personal significance of each choice, giving insight into the tastes and values that have guided his work. The selection reflects a balance between innovation and emotional depth, illustrating how technical mastery and expressive resonance coexist in his creative process. It also demonstrates that Smith's influences are not confined to one era, genre, or style, but span decades and styles, reflecting an artist with a boundless curiosity and appreciation for the evolution of rock music. For fans and musicians alike, the list is both a roadmap and an invitation. It provides a glimpse into the foundation of The Cure's sound, showing how Smith absorbed, transformed, and internalized the music that inspired him. It also encourages listeners to explore these albums for themselves, to understand the context, textures, and emotions that shaped one of rock's most iconic voices. Beyond technical influence, the list is a testament to the enduring power of music to shape identity, sustain creativity, and inspire innovation across generations. In the end, Robert Smith's revelation is as much about gratitude as it is about inspiration. By naming his 10 favorite rock albums, he honors the artists who came before him, acknowledges the lessons they imparted, and shares a piece of his inner world with fans. It is a rare, candid glimpse into the mind of a legendary musician, one that bridges the gap between influence and creation. The albums that molded him are now part of the story of The Cure, reminding us that even the greatest artists are shaped by the music they love, the experiences they cherish, and the creative voices that guided them along the way.